All right. I've revealed the portfolio already straight away to people. Brilliant. Great start to the stream. As you can tell, I haven't streamed in a long, long time. But yeah, because I was going to say I'll guess the portfolio and all that lot, but I mean, you've just seen it. So, but yeah, what a market's been as usual. It's been a bit flat at the moment. So yeah, it's been trading quite flat at the moment. So I don't know what people's thoughts are at the moment with the markets. I personally think, well, Dylan, welcome to stream. Run 3106, yo yo yo. Charlie, HT6 skills, welcome to the stream. Yeah, no, I think the market's personally going to trade kind of sideways and for maybe a while. Maybe obviously this is just a prediction, could be wrong, but it lets valuations catch up with everything, with all the earnings, and then I think it will probably take off a bit, maybe next earnings. But obviously, the problem is we've got these big companies, just the capex spending is crazy, and like it needs to be justified in their earnings of like, are they seeing growth with the spending? So that's what I think the market's waiting on. And then if we get some clarification on that, then maybe the market will start picking up. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. FTSE 100 had a banging year. Let's have a look actually. I've heard it has. Yeah, it has. It has indeed. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, Grab's earnings, I think, were a bit. I want to make a video on it because I know a lot of people want me to make a video on it, and I will. So, but I'll briefly say, like, I've just not had a chance, by the way, to do videos. I've not even done a portfolio update video in ages. It's just been chaos with my work side of things, and now it chills out a little bit. So, but anyway, Grab, the guidance wasn't great. It wasn't strong, especially when you're in these growth stocks. They're not, or you think you're in a growth stock. Like it's not crazy growth compared to what you could be and compared to other stocks. And I think it's a solid company, and it's growing. It is growing, but they're not putting up numbers that you're like amazed by as such. Like they are good numbers, but if you compare it to other stocks, but that's the thing, you just can't. And maybe they're in that phase at the moment where they're just building up. But yeah, guidance wasn't crazy good, and I know they did an acquisition with that financial company in America, but yeah, I don't know. Like I'll make a video and break down a bit more of my thoughts, and we can have a look at the earnings and everything with Grab. But I I don't know. I don't know if this is. I'll be honest. Like my thoughts with it is like I still think it's a solid like company, but then obviously opportunity cost comes into play, but you can't really think about opportunity cost until you give it like over the 5 years. That's when you can compare if you've made a mistake or a good decision with getting into a stock, judging it off a 5 year period. You can't judge it off a 1 2 year period, that because otherwise that's not investing, that's kind of trading. Even 2 years is kind of trading and going with momentum. So my thoughts with the Grab situation is like, is this stock going to be a solid stock to still be in for the next few years? And yeah, that's and also the fact that they're wanting to buy back shares. That's not what you want to hear from a company that's growing. Do you know what I mean? Or believes that they can grow. You don't do that. You use your cash to buy more businesses, reinvest to scale, and buying back shares doesn't like scream growth, and that was the only sign that I saw as like, it's not like worrying as say as because they believe obviously their price and their shares are cheap, but yeah, if you're a growth company, you want to be like, well, growing, and not, you don't like that. You kind of buy back shares when you've kind of, the growth is kind of gone. um so yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna stick with Grab, but I did have thoughts, I'll be honest, of like, there's companies out there that are growing quick and in their financials, and they're reinvesting their cash into the company and to build it quicker and become better. But yeah, it's a hard one, to be fair, but I'll do a video on it. Anyway, before we get into any more questions, evening, Danny. Should we do the guessing of what my portfolio is sitting at the moment? Leave in the chat now. What do you think my portfolio is sitting at? Leave in the chat right now and we'll reveal it and get straight into that. Evening, Tom. Okay, so 142k, 143k, 150k, 145k, 141k. They're good guesses. They're very good guesses, actually. Has anyone got it spot on? Someone's pretty much got it spot on. So let's go with it. So yeah, James pretty much got it spot on. I did reveal it at the beginning of the stream as well, by the way. But anyway, yeah, 141,000. 141.4. So that's the portfolio. Yeah. I mean, this is the times where like people in the stream watching now, like you guys, like, this is the thing with the stock market, is like you're not going to get people wanting to be in the stock market or not. You kind of ignore it. You kind of push it in the back of your mind and don't really pay attention to it. You might not even watch streams. You might not even watch videos, and that's completely fair, because when you're in like this downturn market, or the market's going sideways, it's not going up, you kind of get discouraged. But these are the times where it's more important to kind of reevaluate your portfolios, kind of look at these companies and go, look, these are good prices to buy at. I'm going to be loading up and be buying these companies at these prices. Not when it's sky high, when everyone's wanting to buy it, because when you look at the portfolio, like, everyone would have been watching me, for example, watching loads of people when their portfolios were sky high, and buying at the tops when it just doesn't make sense logically. Like, you're getting at a cheaper price with these companies. And I know it's the same thing what people say, but it's true. And like SoFi, wow. Like, seriously, people were hoping and begging for SoFi to be $25. I remember when people wanted it to be $25 when it was 32. And then it's just dropped to 19. It's dropped to here. And the other questions are, is like, people say to me, oh, are you buying SoFi at these prices at 19? Like, oh, yes, I am. But then when it's like $30, people don't ask those questions of like, are you buying at 30? Because they just buy it because they just see green, which is kind of not the way you should go at it. But yeah, SoFi's PE is dropped to 49. But when we have a look at SoFi here, let's have a look at the forward PE on SoFi. I'll just move that out of the way. What we can see here is it's gone to 32. Their PE is 32. And we should look at it more so around here from 2023, because the growth started really happening within this stock then. We're kind of at all-time lows when it comes to the forward PE. The lowest it's been forward PE is, it seems to be 29, pretty much 30. Well, we're trading at 32 forward PE at the moment, and if you don't know what PE is, price to earnings. So yeah, we're trading good, like cheap in that sense. And going back at September when everything's sky high, my portfolio sky high, it was trading at a premium. People were having to pay a higher price for the stock, and people were willing to pay 68 times forward price to earnings. So yeah, mad. And that's what happens in bull markets and bear markets. Like, people are willing to pay more for a stock. It's just the way it happens. So you just should look at this now as like, but obviously this is not financial advice, because things can go wrong. They could report earnings and absolutely miss. But I mean, if you go off SoFi's earnings, they've beaten every time. If you can see here on the graph, like green, they've beaten all the time. They do sandbag, as I've said before, SoFi. So yeah, 32 PE. Same with AMD. AMD's trading at forward PE or 30, it's saying on here. So yeah, I think people are also not understanding the situation with AMD, how AMD's could take a bit of a market share from Nvidia. I know I sound like an idiot right now, because Nvidia's got like 90 odd percent, if not more, of the market. But as we go into the inference space with the AI models, because the training's always going to be there, and they've trained up, and Nvidia smashed it with the monolithic chips. But AMD's gone down the chiplet design for ages, and the chiplets will allow companies to be buying more for it cheaper. It'll be essentially cheaper for companies to buy AMD chips, and the performance is going to be there with the MI450. So, and that comes in Q3, Q4. We'll start seeing, well, Q3, Q4 is when the chips, I believe, are going to be starting to be sold to companies, and then we'll obviously see that in their earnings in like Q4/Q1 when it's in 2027. So yeah, that's why I was buying when AMD was down at the dumps, called Advanced Money Destroyer, when it was down, not down there, down here. And I kept saying to people the forward PE is like 20, and because I think it was, the forward PE was like 20. Yeah. When did I put? I'm trying to think when. I just remember saying the forward P is 20, and here it is 20 down here. Obviously, it's trading at 30 now, so it's more, but that's because people are willing to pay more because they realise the growth that AMD could capture and the market share that they could capture. You can't handle volatility. No, that's fair, and I understand how going from 207k to this is a bit like, yeah, it's quite annoying, I guess. But also, I don't see it as like that. It's the way it is. You can't, I'm not trading the market. I can't time the market. You don't know what people are willing to pay for a stock exactly. So that's where it makes it hard. Like, if I could read the future, then yeah, I would have sold and bought now. But you don't know. When everyone was telling me, everyone was telling me to sell out here when I hit 100k. People were telling me to sell out a lot of my positions when my portfolio hit 100k, and valuations were mad then. But then I'm in stocks that they're smashing earnings, and their earnings are, it's suppressing the PE. Like, the valuations are getting more attractive as this happens, but the valuation's caught up a bit, and if I did sell then, I would have been waiting all this time to buy back in if it dropped, and it never dropped below the 100k mark. So, oh, I'm going to sneeze. So even when it did do this run up, all the way up, I'm glad I did stay in, because even at the portfolio we're at today, I'm still up £41,000 more than I was when I was at 100 grand. So then I would be panicking now, thinking, we've had a correction now, and I still have got worse prices now. So what? Do you know what I mean? It's hard to know. So I just stay in these stocks until the growth goes, and the growth story goes with these stocks, or you see signs, and then I take profits. But Palantir is not slowing down anytime soon when it comes to how much market share that they can get. Well, the TAM is incredible. AMD, I think it's only just starting in that sense. SoFi, same gain there, especially at the price that they're at now. There's just a lot of my stocks that I'm in that I just think we're early. So I'm guessing you're on about SoFi at 24. I agree. I still do think if $24, if it was there, like $24 for SoFi, I think is great. So now that is at 19, it's amazing. And I just want to say, for anyone who hasn't watched me before, or has been new to the stock market, I remember in talking to other people, and when it went, I think SoFi went to, I think it was at $12, something like $12. Around, I can't remember, I literally can't remember. Yeah, I think it was $12, and obviously that was like considered quite high at the time. Yeah, it was like, I think it was, yeah, because it was at like $9, and then it ran up to 13, 14 or whatever. Everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna wait for it to drop, because $14 at the time looked really high, because obviously we didn't know this was all going to happen then. So $14 looked high at the time because, well, it was literally not so long ago. I think it went to $7. So people were like, oh, I'm not going to buy at the local top at the time, because 14 just looks too high. But you're not looking at it properly. You're not even looking at the valuation of what SoFi is at $14 at the time. And I was like, I'm buying some at 14. I bought some at 16. I bought some at 17 or whatever. And I averaged up, because I was like, these are great prices. These are really good prices. And then obviously it did its run, and it went all the way to 32 or something at the time. And obviously now it's down to 19, which is just incredible, really, because like this drop it's like a 42% drop, which is a lot. So I think when we zoom out, this is not financial advice, but when we zoom out and look at this in 2 years' time, we're going to be like, wow, this was a great opportunity. Obviously, like, the QQQs haven't really dropped a lot, and that's something to be wary about. I think the lowest it's gone down from top to bottom is about 6%. But like these growth stocks and the smaller companies have been absolutely hit hard. I mean, the SaaS companies have been hit hard. I don't know the ETF to show you all the SaaS. If anyone can help me out there, what the ETF is for SaaS companies, because that got hit just insane. It was like the worst it's been since like 2008 or something, the correction for SaaS companies. So yeah, that's obviously a big statement. It shows how much the market's gone down, because obviously Palantir is classed as a SaaS company, and it kind of shows because SaaS companies have been going down for a while, and it just shows how bad the portfolio has been for the last 3 months. But I mean, that's what happens, and it will just rebound as quick as it will go down. And it's nice to see a bit of green today, to be fair. Yeah. Zeta did look really good, I have to admit. But like I said, I just can't really afford to get into other stocks because one, it'll be hard to keep up with all the information, and two, like I say, I'd rather have bigger positions and stuff. And why would I get into another stock when currently I want to be adding to SoFi at these prices? Because I've got the conviction, I've done the research. Why wouldn't I? If I didn't be buying at SoFi at these prices, then it just shows I don't have conviction in the stock and I don't believe in it. And I do, I really do. I can't wait for April to come around. We're getting closer to April, and then I can start adding to the ISA. But the problem is, it's not a problem. That's the wrong word. But I move. I get the keys to my house next week. I've mentioned it on a YouTube short, but yeah, like I get the keys to my house next Wednesday, I believe, and I won't be moving in straight away because, as you've seen in the videos, it's quite an old-fashioned house, and I just don't think I don't want to personally live there just yet. I want to modernise it a little bit, as much as I can afford, and I don't really have the money, to be fair, at the moment, to do that. Like, I don't want to touch this. People could say in the chat now, why don't you sell shares and to do renovations? And yeah, I could, but I don't want to, because I don't want to. Like, this I want to leave to compound over time and pretend this doesn't exist. So at the moment, when I do get paid, I'm saving money to be able to afford the renovations, because the first mortgage payment's quite a lump sum, because your first one always is, because of the interest of obviously when a completion happens, all that lot. So it's going to be a bigger sum than usual. And solicitor fees that I need to pay. So yeah, a lot of money's been getting emptied out of my bank account. So, and I've paid the deposit now, obviously. So it's one of those where it's like, I'm going to have to gradually do stuff to the house. And then obviously I'm kind of prioritising that at the moment and not prioritising buying stocks, because obviously I want to move out there. I can do these streams more frequently, and do more YouTube videos, which is the main thing, because I'll have my own little office space and can just do it whenever I come up with an idea or whatever, and be able to just produce more content for everyone. Because I feel bad I've not done a portfolio update and spoke about stuff. Like, I haven't done a portfolio video in ages because I've just not been able to have the time, or like, this is the office space my dad works in, so it's not like I can just do YouTube videos when I want. And I don't like doing it at night because it's just, I don't know, it's just not as good, like the light and stuff. But I need to get proper lighting set up for my new place. But yeah, rambled on a bit there. Yeah, I believe it's not really a traditional bank stock though, SoFi. And the growth rates are a lot higher than a usual bank. But I would like their tech platform to grow more. If that tech platform has any accelerating growth and quite good growth, this stock will probably fly because of that. Yeah, Oscar looks great. I'm down on Oscar at the moment. Down 7%, but I think Oscar looks great for... It's going to be an exciting year for Oscar, actually, because they want to become profitable. And the guidance looked very strong, very, very strong indeed. And I can't wait to make a video on Oscar. That's another one I'm going to put on my list to make a video, so then you can watch that and hear my thoughts more on Oscar. But the guidance was great. And 2025 was a reset year for them. And yeah, 2026 is looking very good. Do I think 2026 will be red? I think 2026 could be more of a, like I say, kind of a trading sideways kind of market and not a lot of growth, just because of, unless CapEx slows down or the CapEx spend is justified by quite large accelerated growth, then I think the stock market will go. But as soon as we could have a bit of a bounce on when Nvidia reports earnings, so that's another thing to keep an eye on. Yeah, grab Fubo, all of those stocks I'm going to do videos on, because I think it'll be better to just do a video on those, because a lot of people are asking. I'm down loads on Fubo. Like, I'm going to be transparent here. Biggest loss, down 52%. Huge. I mean, actually, it's not my biggest. My biggest one I've been down on is Palantir. Palantir, I was down 65%. I was down on Palantir. And then I'm up this. But obviously, Palantir wasn't in the best of states at the time. But obviously, people saw past it. And the thing is, with going like with Fubo as well, it's like, I think the earnings are all right. Like, they're not bad. It's just, the problem is, like, they're not giving any guidance to anything or anything with the merger. So people were pricing Fubo as becoming bankrupt. Like, that is the truth. So, and they just don't think it will ever become profitable. So yeah, Fubo probably could be a rough one for the next few quarters, but it could also turn around like that. And I'm that's not even a joke. It could turn around just like that with a click of a fingers, with a good earnings call, with good guidance. And that's what people were waiting for. People didn't get the guidance, so people have lost faith in the management and sold out, which is fair enough, because you want to feel confident and get some clarity on what's going ahead in the future. But maybe they don't want to give out guidance just yet, because they don't want to give out guidance and it's completely wrong. They want to get a bit of a gist of the two companies together, and then once they can start getting some numbers, they can actually give guidance without just picking a number out of thin air kind of thing. Maybe that's why they delayed stuff. And then obviously the stock split, the reverse stock split, that's had a massive negative impact. Obviously it doesn't actually change the fundamentals of the company at all, but it just doesn't look good. People don't like stock splits, like reverse stock splits anyway. But they did that because you can get delisted if you go under $1 for a start. And it looks more attractive to institutional investors if you are priced at a higher stock. It's just the way it is. And that's what the CEO said. So yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe I do come out and lose my money with Fubo, but I just don't see it going much further down, to be fair. This could be a bottom for Fubo, but I'll make a video on Fubo if you want me to, because you don't get everything right, obviously, but I still do think it's fine. Like, I mean, their earnings were good. They beat earnings, but people just want guidance and clarity, which is completely fair. Am I going to use Robinhood ISA? Probably not, because I just like trading 2-on-2, to be fair. Onda's earnings second week of March, that'll be interesting to see, because they've got a lot of growth coming their way, it seems like, with Onda's, doesn't it? So, well, we closed green, which is good for the market close. Yeah, I mean, I do remember Anthony Noto saying that with the tech platform, 2026 is going to be a better year for them. So yeah, we'll see. Have I had the 20k ready to go in April? No, I haven't. I've never had 20k just sitting around to lump sum. Oh, what do I think of Palantir at this price? That's a good, interesting question. Uh, hmm. I mean, I listened to the Dan Ives podcast that Amit had, and I think this is the thing you should look at with Palantir is just how much money they're making with their free cash flow, because they're gonna become a printing machine because their margins are just crazy. So where do you price that? And also with the uniqueness that Palantir offers to a lot of companies, it's very hard to put a price on how much people are willing to pay for Palantir. But obviously, people were willing to pay a high price at one point with Palantir. Like I think some people at one point were paying like 600 PE, not forward PE, but just PE. Um, Forward PE was 250, and now it's dropped all the way to 100. So you're getting it for a lot cheaper. Um, Palantir is starting to look attractive. I know it's still 100 forward PE is just mad. It is, but the growth that they're having is just mental. Like at one point, yeah, it was priced at 600, and then it got priced to 250 the PE. Like it got cut over in half because of the financials, how quick Palantir are growing. So even if Palantir trades sideways, as they are, if they do, and they keep up with the earnings that they're doing, the forward PE will come straight down. It can go easily to 40. Do you know what I mean? Um, if we could get Palantir to like near $100, then I would be buying Palantir, but I'm not buying because I've just got a lot of shares anyway in Palantir. But for someone who wants to get into Palantir as new, it is such a hard one to say. Um, I wouldn't put a lump sum in for sure. I would not. Obviously, this is not financial advice, but if you had 10k, let's say, I'd just be buying like I'd just be averaging in to just be more safe. But then also if you just got a long term investing horizon really with the next 10 years, then obviously this price is very attractive and very good, I think. Um, Micron Micron. Um, Is this data or is this just? Yeah, the memory. Because that's what a lot of the other stocks have done well with, the memory side of things. Blimey, though, this is crazy. That is a good beat, isn't it? They've been beaten constantly. They must have had good guidance as well. What's it trading at? Whoa. So they must be anticipating a lot of growth coming their way then. I keep thinking we're in 2025. Yeah, wow. They are anticipated a lot of growth coming their way. That's... Who's in Micron? Yeah, because this is a good play for the storage side of things, the memory and storage, which is the other side of the AI space. But I haven't probably looked into Micron at all, so I don't have any comments. But it's looking like an attractive price, even with the run up it's had. I know you look at the stock price and you're like, hang on, oh, no. You go, oh my god, that looks scary, but I mean, there's reasons why this has actually happened, because you got analysts thinking it's going to do $45 in EPS in 2027, and is that seriously right, the forward PE? Can't do. I don't know if that's 38 here. Telling me different things. Let's have a let's ask Gemini. What's... I want to see what it says. To be fair, the forward PE is saying about 10 to 12. Gemini saying. So that PE that's at the moment at like 39.40 is going to get cut to 10 if it stays the exact same price and it hits the earnings that people were expecting. So a 10 PE is obviously looking cheap. Shorting AI, fair enough. In hindsight, do you wish you sold Palantir at 210 and put money to work elsewhere? I mean, I could have done my renovations for the house, so I guess you could say yeah. But then also, like I say, this money I just don't. This is just not short-term money. This is not money for me right now. So it is what it is. So yeah, but let me know in the chat what did you do in the stock market? Like, what's it saying for your day return? Mine's 0.2, so mine's pretty much flat. So let me know your last 24 hours. It'd be interesting to know. So please put in the chat your last 24 hours. What's it reading? It'd be interesting and good to see what people have done in their portfolios. And how's everyone feeling with the stock market? Because, yeah, we've had some turbulence, let's say that, and it seems to be settling down. 1.6, I'm assuming up, 1.6% up, because that's impressive. 0.6%, 0.9%. Nice. In Apple's capex is really low, so that's an interesting thing as well. Ondas, yeah, I bet. Oh, I think that's had a really good day as well. Yeah, I can't. That's going to be an interesting one to see their earnings. I mean, their earnings. People are anticipating very, very good earnings from them, so I'm sure they will. Um, yeah, be interesting to see what they do. 0.9. Hims. The growth is great with Hims, but then they could, like, their products can just get banned or just taken off. You can't sell them, like they've had experiences with that. Amazon seems to be wanting to go down that route of what Hims is doing, I believe. So there's a lot of kind of, there's just parts to Hims where I wouldn't want to be in. But also I'm not saying it won't do well. Like, it could do very, very well, but in the long run. But there's just a few risk factors in play with Hims for me that I'm like, I'd rather be in other stocks, other certain situations. I personally think SoFi is like an absolute bargain. I shouldn't say bargain. That's probably what I shouldn't say that, but I think SoFi is a good price, and I've been buying SoFi. So, like I said in the stream before, if you missed it, SoFi, you should really go off last forward PE 32. So, and they sandbag their earnings. I like, they just do. Let's have a look as well. Vanguard is literally in everything. JP Morgan's an interesting one with SoFi. Ownership 5.58%. And also, when you look at the technicals with SoFi on the daily chart, look at it. It's just it's very oversold, really. So I think SoFi will be having a bounce. Can it get into the S&P 500 as well? That'd be an interesting one. That could be a big catalyst for them. I've just realised I've not shown my screen since then. But anyway, let's look at this, because this is a good little post. Look at that. Like, timing the market just beats timing the market over the long run, for sure. This goes back to 1949, and you have your bad times, you have your good times, and a bull market average is 5.3 years, and a bear market average is about 1 year. So if you're investing every single month over the next few decades, you should historically come out on top. So yeah, obviously this is going off the S&P 500, not just getting into individual stocks. So yeah. Edentiv, is that how you say it? Has more cash on the book than market cap with next to no liabilities. Are they burning through cash though? They must be. Kraken, yeah, I've heard a lot of people talking about it. But yeah, I don't know. Nvidia rocketing now. When is their earnings? Because what is the earnings this week? So they'll be next week. Nvidia will be next week then. Hit the like button, guys, if you're enjoying the stream as well. Hit the subscribe button if you're brand new to the stream as well. eToro. Oh, what did they do? They must have beat. Did they beat? Because I think they were up today. Yeah, wow, look at that. Fair play. Look at this as well. That I saved this post. So this was in April 2025 because we all knew how bad that April month was. If you were in that, some of these numbers, have you looked at this? Like some got hit very, very hard. But then look at this post as of now, sorry. Some of these, like Hood down 50%. Palantir down 34%. Meta down 17%. Microsoft down 26%. Like, I think there's some attractive prices right now. But yeah, I'm going to probably go on to some videos and talk about some of this. But like even this, here's how the Magnificent 7 stocks have performed so far in 2026. Not well. Breaking, Amazon officially closes down for its 9th straight day, posting its longest losing streak since 2006. The stock has now raised 470 billion in market cap over the last 9 days. So it just puts a lot into I don't know what word I'm trying to say. But yeah, that's a few things that I've been saving. Interesting that Nvidia's doing that though. Yeah, anyway, subscribe if you're brand new, hit the like button if you enjoyed the stream. I'm going to end off the stream. Hopefully you did enjoy the live stream. I appreciate every single one of you coming out to watch the stream. And yeah, I'll be moving very, very soon. Well, I'll get the keys next week. Hopefully I can... I don't know when I'm going to be moving in, to be fair, because of the renovation side of things. But yeah, hopefully to more streams soon, more videos, a lot more videos when I move out to my house, into my own place. The content will be going up. Trust me on that. I will try and work as hard as I can to give you all the content as much as I can for you guys, because I know I've been slack with the YouTube big time, and I do apologise. And I've been desperate to do a live stream for a while because I do love doing the live streams, and I do really want to do a YouTube video. It's just trying to figure out when I can with the time, because of the moving side of things and my work. I've been travelling a lot for work, so I've just not been in the country either to do videos, so it's been hard to do all of that. But hopefully, yeah, I'll be doing a lot more of the videos, keeping you up to date with obviously Fubo, Grab, Oscar. I'd like to do more earnings kind of videos as well and talking about it, because I know you guys want it, and it's hard to just talk about it on a live stream when I've got notes down and stuff like that, so I can do the videos like that. But anyway, cheers, thank you, congrats on the new house, I appreciate that. Appreciate all of you watching, thanks guys. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.